Welcome to Two Dudes and a Cup. I am Ryan. I know my name. It's Ryan.
So, I am Jason.
And we have a special guest.
I wouldn't say special. Well, it depends how you determine
It's true.
special. But, yes, we do have a guest.
Our first guest and video.
We got video, finally.
So, hi guys. You get to
Hello.
see our ugly mugs while we
Yes,
talk now.
make fun of us.
So, Trey, how are things?
Things are going well. It's really hot, but it could be worse. So, how are things with y'all?
Not too bad. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
We brought Trey along because we are talking about, VR and about the Apple, and he's a big Apple guru, so we thought we'd bring him on the show.
And if you can't tell by the table, I am the only one without a Mac. So, there's that. So, Trey, they're very big on Apple.
He might get a Mac.
Maybe.
We might. We're working something out.
We're thinking about it. So, again, kind of not a whole lot in the news sphere, I guess you could say. Although, a couple big things. Before we get to the really big thing, Deadpool 3 photos leaked. And
Yes.
did you notice what Hugh Jackman was wearing?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you know what what is it? What's he wearing?
I mean, he's wearing the suit that everybody been wanting him to wear.
The comic book accurate
Exactly,
suit.
I know.
The one that got teased at the end of
Because they just showed the
gloves and the mask.
right?
But it was like the brown tones from like the newer comic. It wasn't
Right.
the red and blue that was made famous by the original comics and by the 90s X-Men.
Yeah, so I'm glad they're. It took him 13 years.
I don't know. He's Wolverine. Like I don't see, because I know obviously Logan was supposed to be his last hurrah.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds dragged him back in.
Well, and hurrah for you see, there's gonna be a lot of people in that movie.
A
A lot.
They're going all out. And I think from what I understand, at least, it's the way to introduce X-Men into the MCU, which is long overdue, and unfortunately I think at the worst possible time for the MCU, because the MCU is not great anymore.
Because Thanos, the whole thing is done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what they try to do now doesn't help, and plus it doesn't help. What happened with what's the name with the legal issue?
Are you talking about Ezra Miller?
Mm-hmm.
That's Flash. That's DC, bud. That's DC.
No. Not him. What's the name?
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about. Yes,
Kang. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's put a huge damper on that. But like I said, it's good. It's gonna be good to see Wolverine in or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one last go around, because I think this is it. I don't think he's coming back after this. I think this is his hurrah to make everybody happy. So he's wearing the comic book accurate costume, playing around with Deadpool.
Yeah.
So I think it's it for him. But
We'll see.
But in much bigger news, the FTC lost its lawsuit to put an injunction on the Microsoft Activision deal. It was ready to be closed. I think the deadline is the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And if I read correctly, if they don't close a deal before the 18th of July, Microsoft, if they don't get an extension by Activision, which I don't think Activision would oppose extending because of the appeal that I'm about to discuss.
Yeah.
But if they don't do the deal, if it's not closed by the 18th, which is
Next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, next Tuesday, Microsoft has to shell over $3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're buying Activision for what, $76 billion?
It's 69. I've heard it go up to 76. Lots of fucking money.
Yeah, a lot of money. But I mean, I don't know. They need it.
Yeah. So it dropped on Tuesday. There was a lot of stuff being talked about. Feel free to jump in at any time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I
don't know if you know much about it.
no, not.
What
not,
it is
not
is
really.
a Microsoft. You know how Microsoft and Sony, they always have a big issue like first party titles and stuff like that. Like, for instance, Sony. What did I say? Did I say Microsoft?
It's
and
Microsoft.
Xbox? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Are you talking about like Halo? Or exclusive?
Exclusive. I meant like Microsoft and PlayStation. Sorry, PlayStation. They have God of War,
Spider-Man,
So
Horizon
those are,
Dawn.
Exclusive titles.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, what Xbox is trying to do, or Microsoft's trying to do, is trying to buy Activision, which they have a lot of rights to a lot of main games, especially like Call of Duty.
Call of Duty is the main sticking point.
Yeah, but they got like Overwatch and other stuff like that.
Overwatch, Diablo,
and a lot of other stuff.
So essentially, at least from my gathering, Activision Blizzard also owns a company called King, and they make Candy Crush. So this was Microsoft trying to get into the mobile gaming market so they could get a huge share, because there's a lot of money to be made in mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the FTC is appealing. Don't know what's really going to go with that. I mean, great spending of taxpayer dollars there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hey, and they already lost, so they're just going to continue to try to lose.
Yeah, because honestly, what's going to happen is like they're going to lose.
I think so.
I don't see this as going. And it's going to benefit Microsoft because now they have that, and plus with Bethesda, you know.
Yeah, and because they bought Bethesda like 2 or 3 years ago now, something like that. Yeah.
So that's why Starfield is going to be exclusive.
Yeah, which looks that looks so great. You know, honestly, when Starfield comes out, that is finally the time that I'll stop playing Skyrim.
Yeah, he's like the only one I know that plays Skyrim. So
I love Skyrim.
Yeah,
he does. He loves it. But
so lots of details came out after this was after the FTC lost. A lot of stuff came out, and it's a lot of it came out during the trial, because during the discovery, lots of stuff got got leaked and all this stuff.
Yes.
The one interesting thing came out is there is supposedly 1 million PlayStation 5 players that have only downloaded and only played Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think it was either 2001 or 2022 where they were able to find out.
Yeah, but
around that year.
So what's interesting about that is PlayStation's concern is Xbox removing Call of Duty from their store and basically allowing their players to play, which, as we've discussed, would be the most dumb decision that they could make, because and we were talking this right before the show, 1 million players. So let's just take that number, and the battle pass is $10, something like that, right? So let's just say $10, and let's just say let's just be really out there and say only 20% of them, only 20% of that 1 million players that are only on PlayStation and only play Call of Duty spend $10 on battle pass, or spend $10 just generous. Yeah. And you and I both know that number is way too fucking low.
Oh yeah, way low.
If they all spent $10, if my math is correct, and it may not be, that's $2 million that they would basically just throw away in just that player base, not to include the other millions of PlayStation players that play Call of Duty, among other things, and potentially spend money.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're talking a $69 billion acquisition, and we're talking $2 million. That's a huge difference, but over the course of the years and as stuff comes out, that's just a dumb amount of money to walk away from.
Oh, I know.
So,
I get why PlayStation's mad, but you know what? So who cares?
So I just don't think there is any way that they would potentially close out that, walk away from that market share.
I'll be shocked.
It would just there's no reason to. Now, things like Starfield and the other games that they have coming out are likely going to be made exclusives at some. Like Starfield's already going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Oh yeah.
But that's not from Activision. That's Bethesda, which also means like Elder Scrolls and all that stuff. That's all going to be coming to Xbox only.
That they talked about putting Starfield on PlayStation, like Xbox
as an exclusive initially.
Well, Xbox. Well, I heard that Xbox was thinking about going to play Sony and saying like, "Hey, we can put this on y'all's console, but for a price." I don't know if that's true. I just something I heard.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's just though anything like single player wouldn't make any sense for them really to unless
they just need to get over it. I mean,
PlayStation
Sony has so many exclusives.
Yeah, and we've talked about that.
Yeah, we only got what, Halo and Forza.
It's pretty much the only ones that matter, and Halo was awful.
Awful.
Just super bad.
Yeah.
The one last thing to touch on here, I did see, and I'll link it here below because I heard it on TikTok. Great news source. Honestly,
I
it's
get most of my news
yeah.
from TikTok now.
I mean, we have to because
yeah.
But Activision allegedly pulled Xbox or Call of Duty from Xbox due to a revenue share negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
most people, most companies do a 70-30%, where 70% going to the developer, whoever's posting it or whoever's putting it on their market,
Yeah.
like Apple or Microsoft or Sony, they get a 30% cut of all sales.
Mhm.
And apparently Activision wanted to up the share to 80-20, which is unheard of in the industry from what I heard. But when I read that story, that was just funny to me, because they're like, "Oh, we're gonna remove it from you, and we're just gonna give it to Sony exclusively." So Microsoft's retort was, "Okay, we'll buy you then."
Yeah, because they have the money.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
at one point,
They knew that.
yeah. At one point, I think, God, it had to be like maybe 5 years ago, more, maybe more. But at some point, Microsoft was sitting on like hundreds of billions of dollars in cash assets, basically just money they have to spend.
Yeah.
So, like when they bought Bethesda, and everybody was freaking out, like, because it was $8 billion compared to 10 times essentially
Yeah,
with
supposedly
Activision,
this is $76 billion.
and Bethesda was a huge like shock. Everybody was like, "Wow, that's going to go through." No one seemed to have an opinion about that, and Sony, I don't know if they said anything about it, but Sony has been backing the "let's not allow this to happen."
Oh yeah.
100%.
There's a lot of shady stuff that came out in this trial, but
Yeah. So,
it's
but
over there.
yeah, well, we'll see. So on to the main talking point. I guess I'm gonna have to be defending myself a lot here, because I'm not a huge Apple fan, and somebody over here is.
Yeah, because you're pretty big on the metaverse, right?
The metaverse.
Well, I mean, that's what.
That's the competition.
That's what Facebook's thing.
Oh, Facebook, man. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pull your mic up. Make sure you're kind
There
of talking
you
it. Make sure you're talking into it, like it's in front of you.
Gotcha,
There you go.
gotcha.
There you go.
It's like what you do on your
Shut
spare
up.
time. Okay.
So Apple is releasing something called the Apple Vision Pro, which it looks terrifying.
It looks amazing.
Why does it look terrifying?
The price probably.
That's not helping the case for me.
Just like
it's just
this device is $3,499.
Well, you also have to include
sales tax.
well,
For people that has glasses.
right. So people that wear glasses, it's also an additional $600
Oh, is that all?
because you have to put your prescriptions in the Vision Pros. So you're probably looking at north of what?
Four
After
thousand.
tax 4,200.
Yeah.
Or wait, well, hold on. Sales tax is what, like 8%, right?
But the rumor has it is that the engineers are working on, a cheaper alternative to the Vision Pro, so it can reach more of the consumer market.
Yeah, well, I can see that they're going to do what they do with the iPhones, Pro Max.
Yeah, and they created the SE
Yeah.
to reach, because you
As
have,
well-
like,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you have, like a iPhone Pro Max is, let's say, $1,200 here, but in Australia, it's like $2,000 US dollars.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
so
Is that import cost or what's that? Or is it just
It
I
could
think
be
it's
import.
just-
I
it's-
mean,
I
we
think
don't
it's
know.
sales tax, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know in other countries, the iPhone or Apple products in general are way more expensive than.
They really are. Because
States.
when I watch reviews and everything, they're like, yeah, this costs this much, but y'all in the States, y'all
So-
get this much.
So Trey, here is your opportunity to try to sell me on Vision Pro, because here's the thing: I'm not a huge VR fan. I've messed around with VR. My brother has
I'm not
one,
either, but
I'm using now. To be clear, I'm not an Apple hater. I worked for Apple almost 15 years ago. Everything, if you use everything in their ecosystem, it is phenomenal. Like, everything is seamless. It's easy.
it's perfect.
It's seamless and easy.
I mean, it really seems like it's perfect. I
Their
mean,
ecosystem, but for real, all of their stuff, anything that is Apple branded, it
just works.
it plays together. Yes, it just works
it
together.
really does.
But with for VR and as I've played it, I've played Beat Saber. I mean, who hasn't? If you've done VR, that's pretty much the thing to VR. I played one of the Walking Dead things. Like the concept and the gameplay is very, very cool. one, it starts giving me a headache, and that could just be me getting old.
Right.
But because my son can go for
But you gotta think
friggin'
about
hours.
this. This is not really like for gaming.
So
This is a computer on your head.
my question is,
But my question. Oh, real quick. My question of if it's a computer on your head, why?
okay. So my question with that theory is, how long has this Facebook, or what is the other one, the Octagon, like
Oculus.
how long were they in development? You know, like before they came out.
I have no idea.
For a while, because they've been out for a couple of years now.
I mean,
So-
Oculus is on it's like third or fourth
For
iteration, I think.
example, with the Vision Pro, Apple has been developing this one product for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
10 years to perfect it.
And the thing is, like, I've watched reviews on this, just like how he has. This is just in the beta phase. This is not coming out until next year.
Yeah.
And they said this thing is working incredibly, well. No issues whatsoever.
You and I hold
So,
on.
a big reason
What?
that I think is really going to persuade you is, and I think it's a great,
Well, you can watch porn on it.
no, it's the 3D camera, to where
Yeah.
you can actually you can capture a 3D. Let's say you have like a grandmother, you can capture a 3D video or a 3D
On the
photo.
Apple Vision.
On the Apple Vision, you capture a 3D video or a 3D photo of them, okay? And then you can view that person on the device in 3D as if they're right in front of you. So
Yeah.
let's say you have recordings of your grandma, right? And you miss your grandma, you're close to your grandma. Well, then you can sit on your couch or be outside or wherever and see a 3D render of her like she's in the flesh.
I mean, that's cool.
And I mean,
That is.
I think that's.
But-
I think that the optical ID.
I can see people doing that, like something totally different.
Well,
Well, my mind is like going like
Well, and
something totally
it's-
different.
maybe
it's-
people are thinking, the sky's kind of the limit. When Apple releases a product, people always jump on board. Like if you look at,
Well,
You
they're
know
also
what?
enslaved to the brand, but okay.
no, but
Well,
I'm
not
just
slaving
not
the-
talking
it-
about that. I'm talking
it just
about,
works.
If people want to make money, they develop their apps and all their stuff
Sure.
to Apple devices first, because they know that it's going to generate money.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Yeah, because the Apple Store is super easy to get on.
it is.
I mean,
It isn't. There's a
I get on it and I want to do.
No. I'm
download
talking.
it
I'm
and
talking.
click it.
Yeah. You can. God damn it.
I know.
You're
You're
such
double
an
team,
ass.
bro.
Well,
I mean,
no,
well,
I'm not. No. What I meant by getting on the App Store is I'm saying, like, if you're developing an app for the App Store,
Oh.
there's approvals it has to go through Apple,
Well, he
where that
knows
same
about
one
it
doesn't
because
exist.
He
Yeah.
was once weren't you like a developer years ago?
And I mean, there's a reason for the reason for that is if you go to the Google's Play Store, I mean, you can literally make an app, send it, and they just approve it. Apple has a process. There's certain way, and the reason why they do that is it's all about privacy. That's all it's about, is protecting the consumer.
That's the
from-
claim.
Okay, it's not the claim. I mean, it's proven fact. I mean,
You want to cite that for me?
what?
Or are you just citing their commercials where Apple is privacy?
No,
Privacy is
it's-
Apple.
it's-
I wouldn't
it's
say
a-
that,
How many
but-
times? How many times have you heard of of data breaches on Apple devices? There's
Not
been.
much.
I can think of one. There's only been one, and there was like the iCloud that got hacked with like the celebrities back in the day,
Okay.
and that was like probably 10 years ago.
Okay, so that doesn't sell me on the Apple Vision. So here's the thing: you're saying, okay, I can go look at a 3D render of.
Okay,
Let me.
No. I'm going to interrupt you because he doesn't need.
They're
to-
just trying to tag. They're,
No,
they're
we're
just
not.
they're
What-
just trying to beat me into
What this
submission.
is, basically, this is a computer on your head. So not like what he's talking about is really cool, but you can put it on your head to where you can just relax on your couch and watch it. If you want to watch a movie, you can watch a movie and it looks like you're in a theater.
Okay.
Or you can just get on the computer and you can do everything from there. You can have like a wireless keyboard. You can do that if you want to do that, or you can use your hands.
So you're wearing the screen on your face.
Yes, you are for 2 hours, and then when
That's-
the battery dies, you have to plug it in.
But also, okay,
Well, I will
so
say. Hold on.
There's the battery pack that comes with it.
Oh, so there is a battery pack because I'm the
But it-
one in
it
here.
lasts-
There's a cord hanging out
It
from our
lasts
head.
2 hours.
Yes.
But if you plug it in, it'll go. for
we're
how
not.
long- you know,
Yeah,
how
we're
long
not
you
trying
want.
to sell you, but the thing is,
No, I want. Here's the thing. I kind of want to be sold.
No, we're not insulting you.
No, not insult. I kind of want to be sold. I want to
Oh,
know
I-
why somebody should to dish out. If you're talking about with prescriptions, you know,
Yeah.
you're talking about $4,500, $35 to $4,500 to be able to play a computer on your head.
This is what I think is going to happen. This is going to release next year. The hardcore people are going to buy this.
Of course, because
Yeah, but a lot of people, they're going to throw reviews and people are going to love it. You can probably try it in the Apple Store or something like that.
that's
Be
sanitary.
Be really cool. Yeah. But anyways, you know, you can try this out. But the thing is, I can see this if it does well next year, as in just selling, and they probably have a certain number of units they want to meet and everything like that. But if they do that, I can definitely see them because Apple's always known for this. They're gonna like Apple Vision SE, Apple Vision Pro, or before Pro, whatever. You know what I mean?
You know, obviously,
I can see it so they can reach different consumer base.
I do have a question, but to go back on what you said for real quick about like being able to watch, like look at 3D pictures and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm close to my grandma. Like that's an interesting point. But if I just want to look at pictures of my grandma, I can do that on all social media platforms. I don't. But my question is, why do I need extra ways or more? Like, why do I need 3D?
You don't need
Why?
it. That's
You
just an
don't- you don't-
option
yeah,
for you to
don't
use.
Need it, but it creates a more personal experience. All right, like it's the,
Some people love
it
that.
is the future. You know, it's like if
Thank
Like,
goodness
I'm
Area
really close
51,
to-
we're able to get this technology now.
I'm already close to my
Ain't that right?
like I'm really close to my dad and everything, and like the time that he passes and everything, like I would want to be able to have the headset on and do 3D videos of him and everything, and then cherish that in memory. A lot of people nowadays, when they want to cherish memory, they just look at a photo, or if they want to hear their voice, they have to listen to voice recordings.
Mhm.
This combines both.
But the only
You can
bad
listen
thing,
to 'em
that's cool,
and
but
see 'em.
that is cool, but I mean, it would suck though if it got corrupted and you can't do it no more.
Well,
I
but again,
also-
I'm sure it would save to the cloud or something. But my again, I'm
Sure.
Kind of changing things of another reason why it's great is of course, like Jason was talking, is you can watch shows and you can play games on it. I believe when they announced the product at the keynote and everything, I think Disney Plus is also going to be the first one coming to it, so you'll be able to watch Disney movies.
And I'm sure all the
Sitting
other
on-
like Netflix and all that.
they're definitely going to.
But what's cool is I watched the video of the guy using it, and he literally was just chilling on his couch. But the inside, what he says, and it looks like you're at a theater. It's like you have like right now I have a 65-inch right there in the living
Right.
room. But if you're sitting there and if I don't have the TV on, if I'm looking, it'll look like I have a 100-inch on the wall, and I'm just relaxing, just watching. It's kind of cool, and plus it's all seamless with the Apple, so you can put your Bluetooth in.
Yep.
And all that.
and have spatial audio. And the cool
Yeah.
thing about it is,
Say if
you
your
know,
wife
the-
is asleep
like the
and you can watch it, you can watch that.
So-
learn
Hold on.
whatever.
So here about a little bit of text about the display and everything. Okay, so it's going to come with two custom micro OLED displays that will provide a total of it'll provide 23 million pixels, which Apple says is more pixels than a 4K TV.
On each eye.
The headset display features a 90 Hz refresh rate, but there's also a 96 Hz refresh rate that can be activated in watching a 24 frames per second movie. So they also said that the display has been described as the size of a postage stamp.
And it does have, and it's running on the M2 chip.
Actually, it's running on.
Is it
it's
M2 or
running-
M1?
It's running on two M2 chips.
I don't know what any
One
of
is the
that
M2
means.
chip and one's
So
the R1 chip.
The M2 chip is basically is what it's in the new MacBooks now.
This is what I have, the M2 chip in this, and he has the M1 Pro chip, which is,
I have a PC.
yeah, we know. We're sorry.
So it also runs a second R1 chip. So that's basically responsible for all the information that comes to the cameras and to the sensor and to the microphone. Apple states that it can stream images to the display within 12 milliseconds, providing a virtually lag-free view of the world.
And just come piggyback on that.
Wait, you're supposed to wear this all the time?
No, you're not.
No,
This isn't like the Google glasses, is it?
You're going to be driving down the road.
No. I understand. I'm talking.
They are going to go to that
The-
down the road.
this isn't gonna be like that failed Google Glass thing that they tried, right?
When's the last time an Apple product has failed?
No. Answer my question. Is is this like the Google Glass?
No.
No, this is okay.
Okay.
The Google
This is
Glass
a-
failed.
Yeah, this is a,
Okay, stop with the whole fail and succeeding thing. I'm asking, is it like that?
No.
It's nothing.
Okay, that's
Nothing.
that.
Okay.
Answer the question.
So-
Hold on, let me go back to what you're saying just real quick. I just want to say this. Like, in the lens, there's cameras, hidden cameras too, in here to where, say if you're on an app, you can have multiple, like you have like, at your, like say you're at your computer, you want to have like 3 screens.
Yeah,
you
it
can
has
do
12
that.
cameras.
But what you can do is, say there's an app here and there's an app here. The thing is so awesome to where I can just kind of look at that, or they're close. I can look at this one. Like the computer will detect I'm looking at this one. All I have to do is do this, and it'll select it. That's how incredible it is to where you can just look at something and select it.
So you're fucked if you have a lazy eye, because the camera won't know what the hell you're doing.
That's their problem. Not
But the best thing about it is, not everybody can just, throw it on and watch your content, because it uses optical ID. So when you put the headsets on, basically the infrared camera
Yes.
and an LED light inside the ProVision are used for a security feature, and it's similar to Touch ID or Face ID, but what it does is it uses the iris scanning instead of a facial scan or fingerprint. So it's,
Okay. So this is not.
I guess though, can't you?
Okay.
I'm not sure because
I mean, you
it's
wanna
not-
show it
but I mean,
off.
basically, you can scan it scans your
Okay,
eye.
the price kind of makes sense to me based on what you just said. So this is not a VR headset that hooks up to your up. This is a completely.
This is a standalone.
Augment.
It is its own computer.
Yes.
Now
that's
it
why it has
can,
the M chip.
It can.
Okay, that's
connect
why it's
to-
$4,500.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It can connect to like your Mac.
Yeah.
No, you can
it's-
look at your Mac. Say like right here, I'm looking at my Mac. This display will automatically sync to it, and it'll come up for you to use right here.
But if I'm also correct, I believe that it still can with the Vision OS, which is what it's running and everything, because it's obviously specifically designed for the headset and everything. But they created their own ecosystem for this. So Apple redesigned like apps like Safari, FaceTime, Messages to be able to work in the 3D environment. One of the cool things
Tell
is,
them about FaceTime.
huh?
Tell them about FaceTime. What it does.
So I really don't remember.
Hey,
what
okay,
FaceTime
what it
is.
is say you're on it, you can FaceTime other people,
Mhm.
right? But usually when you FaceTime, you have your phone to where you can make
Right.
right. Well,
And
this
and
is-
everybody and like old people have it like right here,
Ah.
like holding like.
Okay.
But with this, it does something to where it maps your whole face, and it makes you a 3D person in it, right?
Yeah. So
and it's pretty legit.
well.
So it's just a way for AI to take
so
over. I
actually
understand. That's cool.
the
Oh yeah,
3D
that's where
yeah.
we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
AI
so
technology.
It
man.
also brings out. It comes with its own personal assistant, which is actually a 3D render of personal assistant.
I didn't
So-
know that.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
can
like-
you make her do things?
I mean, it's just a figure.
Somebody will find a way.
I mean, well, I'm sure I've done maybe down the road, but I mean, I don't know. But I mean,
If it's not day one, I don't want it.
it's
Yeah, if it's not day one.
So it's okay. Okay, that's a cool feature. I will say I was misunderstanding that it was.
Hold on. I just want to touch on something real quick. So, what is it called? The Oculus or whatever?
Oculus.
Yeah, see,
Oculus,
I don't.
Meta Oculus, or Oculus Pro.
Oh my god! What's the Oculant? What is the inferior peasant version of it called?
Pretty much what
The
it is.
Ocu, you're stupid. Is that what it's called?
So you like Mark?
Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
So the cool thing about it is, unlike those things, when you put them on, you're oblivious to everything around you. Let's say you're in your VR world on the Facebook's Meta or whatever it is. Okay, you're oblivious to everything around you. So with this headset that's coming out and everything, if I was sitting on the couch right here and I'm watching a movie or playing a game or I'm working, and Jason walks into my field of view,
Oh,
it's automatically going to lighten up the screen so that Jason can see my eyes and know that I'm looking at him and that I can recognize him.
Well,
and I can see him through that. So it pauses. It doesn't actually pause.
It don't really, actually,
but it just...
I was just going to say, it'd be funny to pause because I would fuck with people on that. Anytime I saw somebody in the room, I'd be like, hey!
yeah,
It
that
fades
was-
out. It fades out a little bit.
But no,
And then...
but you can't change it to where it's an overlay. To where, well, if I'm looking at this ugly guy right here, and I can
Yeah.
see
It's
everything,
hurtful.
it's
There's feelings.
I'm just joking. It's an overlay, you know, and I can see everything if I need to, but I can still see the main. I think that's an option you can do too.
Yeah, and it's great because, you know, like, for example, Ryan, you know, if he walked in front of me and everything and he started talking to me, I'd be like, and still working, and I'm still looking like I'm looking at him, but I'm actually not.
Because there's actually a OLED
Yeah,
in front of it too as
Yeah.
well, which is kind of cool.
so when you're seeing the eyes, are you actually seeing the eyes or are you seeing a projection of the
Yeah, you're
eyes?
seeing that. You're the person's...
No, I
actual
think
eyeball.
I think it's a projection.
No. The glasses themselves, it's kind of like I wear transition sunglasses.
Right.
You know? So it's kind of the same thing. They just transition to where you can see the person's eyes.
Yep.
So that you know that that person's actually looking at you.
So again, a lot of the features seem cool. The
Does it
whole-
make you want to spend $3,500?
not anywhere
or
close to that.
finance it?
No, my credit is not good enough for that. But no, I mean it's a cool feature, and I because I have heard the people who like fail, like companies that fail. So no, it doesn't make me want to do that because my credit is not good enough for that. But a lot of the features on it, like I said, they're cool, they're neat, and I have heard people say companies fail. Like the companies fail. There's always somebody like in a position of leadership saying, "Well, we've never done things that way." So I understand that there is a way of future, and we discussed that with cloud gaming.
Right.
Things are going to happen. I think things like this are going to become the norm. Two issues I really have with
Area
it.
51.
Yeah, right. Okay, there's actually more than two, but some of the concerns I have with it first are the price. That's a put off for a lot of people.
I can see it coming down, honestly.
And I see it coming down in like as the years go by.
15, like I don't know, $1,700, $1,800. I would pay that.
I might pony up for it.
Because Meta is what, 1,200?
I can check.
1,200 or 1,300. I think that's how much it
Talking
is.
about the Oculus.
Yeah, Oculus. I think it's
Oculus.
around $1,200. But the thing
No.
of Oculus, how much?
No, the Meta Quest 2 is like $300.
No, I saw something where
Okay, I'll check-
the new
I'll-
thing
yeah.
that they're working on is supposed to be around that. But the thing is, that Oculus,
No, 300.
Still-
Meta Quest 2 is 300. It's the on the Meta website. It's $300.
Is it?
Right, but I mean, when you put it on, it's crap.
it's crap. And plus,
So I mean, you get what you pay for.
and look, you get these right here. Look, you get these little joysticks.
Your hands.
When
are,
I can just use my hand.
Okay,
I
but-
think
but
I'm
on-
nipples or
Let
something.
me back up here. All right. So when the iPhone first came out, do you know what the BlackBerry CEO said?
Nobody wants a touchscreen.
So the BlackBerry CEO laughed about it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Who's gonna buy a $499 phone? Like, that's absurd." He's like, "We have the BlackBerries that can email and text message and get on the internet and everything, and still has a physical keyboard for $99. And then the iPhone was released, and it took off.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
for sure.
I believe it was, and don't quote me on this, I believe it was within like 2 to 3 years, BlackBerry was forced into bankruptcy because nobody was buying BlackBerries anymore. Because the same
Apple's superior.
the same reason for this Vision Pro is you had this right here to control your phone.
Mm-hmm.
This is way easier than using a keyboard.
Or
the,
the-
or
or
the
the-
little circle.
The circle and the stylus. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I hate that.
Again, and I get that. Like I said, I think things like this, because let's say you said development for 10 years. They've been trying to VR for forever. I mean, it's been science fiction for it's been movies and stuff. Like people have been trying to get to that level.
Gamer One or Game One.
Whichever, but like I said, that's where people are trying to get to, and I think this is probably the next best step. And again, the price is obviously going to turn a lot of people off, myself included. Unless you're somebody like you all who are in the ecosystem, it makes sense for you to add it. It supplements what you guys already have.
I'm a big Apple guy. My whole ecosystem is Apple, but I don't see me buying this right now. Down the road, if it goes cheaper, then yes.
But as neat as everything looks, that's a how heavy is this thing?
I don't know.
That's a bulky thing to have on your head a lot,
They said-
especially if you've got this wire dragging around.
But they said what? Average consumer, I think that's his name, and somebody else. They said is actually not too bad, not heavy, and it's pretty comfortable. So,
I mean, like I said, the headband and everything looks cool. I mean, of course, if you lose the headband or it tears, you're gonna have to go to Apple for another $600
the
head.
Apple Vision Pro weighs in between 453 grams to 680 grams, which compared to the Meta Quest Pro weighs 722 grams.
so it's lighter.
It's lighter than the Meta
It's
Quest.
a pound and a half.
Still,
Okay.
pound is that's. I mean, yeah, it's important because okay, I'm a gun guy, and shaving off a pound off of an AR is actually really good.
Like night and day.
It kind of is.
I just one thing I foresee.
I don't think it'll be uncomfortable because Apple created a rib structure of the headphone to provide cushioning, breathability, and stretch so that would be comfortable for long periods of time.
I'm sure it's more comfortable than that damn
And
Kansas City hat you
There's
got on.
also a second strap that
It
can go
has
overhead
nothing to do with VR.
for better weight distribution. So I mean, it's just right now there's not a ton of details that have really came out about it yet.
It just
because
announced it
a couple months
in
ago.
May?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is not coming out until next year. So
Yeah.
there's a lot they have to do. This is just a prototype. But they said the prototype is working like it's a day one kind of thing.
Yeah, according to other Apple YouTubers and everything, it's amazing. There was somebody, I don't remember who, that got early access.
Is it Marquez or whatever?
I think so, and he said that this is light years ahead of anything that is currently out right now, and that I'm a firm believer that this will change the game for VR. That
I
this
think so.
is what we have been waiting for. I know a lot of people are crapping on it because of the price and everything. Because is it expensive? Absolutely, but it's been in development for 10 years so that they could perfect this to justify that price. I think that Tim Cook, or as a joke that some people call him Tim Apple, that he's putting his job on the line for this product, and that he believes in this product, that it's gonna succeed. And I think that we're gonna have a lot of support from like Netflix and other people, and it's really gonna open up the possibilities for things that we can't even imagine yet right now.
Because I heard something to where if you have this, like they were talking about, like maybe down the road in the future, if this goes big and a lot of support, they'll actually have like special cameras at a basketball game, to where you're sitting right there watching the whole thing.
And
That's amazing.
That would be cool. Or at
I mean,
or,
I'm
or,
not okay
or
basketball
NFL
fan, but
games
that'd be
and
awesome.
If it lowers the price of tickets so I could go to a sports game without having to go bankrupt, I would be okay with that.
Would you?
Yeah, because I want to go to like a Chiefs game or hell, really any NFL game.
That would be amazing. Get the view, and you're just man.
No. I'm okay with everybody watching on their fucking Apple goggles. I will go to the fucking stadium if it's like $300 for me to go.
To watch them
So
lose.
another thing is like you can, for example,
Really?
you can go outside, and you can make the screen in 4K, 100 feet. So you could watch.
I mean, think about it though. Like, okay, so you know how we watch football on TV,
Yeah.
right? So they have that camera that goes whatever. What if they gets so big to where they have a camera for people that has the VRs? Not even just Apple, just other competitors too as
Yeah.
well. It's just gonna look better on the Apple product.
Yeah.
But think about just watching it, like they have a special camera to where you can just watch the game like right there, like you're actually there. I mean, yeah, of course it'd be better to go to the actual game, but be able to experience and just sit on your couch and you're really there, and you can maybe hear like the players and stuff like that. I mean, come on now, you will love that.
I get like Trey said. I think it is the next step. I think it's. I think like you said, it's going to essentially unlock things that we can't even
This
imagine
might
yet.
make virtual gaming even better.
Well, that's the thing.
That's-
It's like
yeah.
this is
They can sell that technology to
They
different
won't,
outlets.
This
but
is
they'll make you pay to get on them.
That's
But
what-
yeah,
This is the
Yeah.
first generation of, you know, of this product and everything. I was going to say new technology, but I haven't put it on my head. I don't know. You know, it definitely looks futuristic. But the point that I'm making is, you know, there's a trend when Apple releases a product. For example, they released the iPhone, they released the iPad. When Apple first released the iPhone, LG and, you know, Samsung and all them, they had to completely scrap their whole design because they wanted to copy the full screen that the iPhone has.
Right.
Because everybody was starting to want it.
Yeah.
When the Apple came out with,
I told you, he's a big fan.
When they came out
no,
with
yeah, I
the,
couldn't tell.
when they came out with the iPad and everything, we didn't have any tablets out there.
Not to the not anywhere near
Now
what
we
they
got
are.
what?
And now we do.
Note,
The
all sorts of stuff. I don't know.
the Bluetooth, you know, like the AirPods. When the AirPods were released, all of a sudden you have, you know, like Beats coming out and Samsung making their own, you know.
For the record,
noise
there were noise canceling Bluetooth wireless headphones
But they were-
before the
but
AirPods
they
came
yeah,
were-
out.
but they were
bulky.
way better
They're-
on
they were-
Apple.
They were bulky. Their battery life wasn't good.
One of the
worked
companies
all
I
the
worked for
time. They were
had
cheap.
Beats, so Beats were a big
No,
deal. I
Beats-
mean,
yeah, but Beats, who owns Beats now?
yeah, Apple does now.
Okay, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is the other had the same thing, but Apple perfected it.
Yeah.
And it's way better. Maybe Sony might have something now that's
I-
really good, but still.
And I can't argue with that because there are products that, you know, that people make fun of Apple about this all the time is you know, just some of the features that Samsung has had for years, you know, like quick reply.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
on text messages and
Yeah,
everything.
Apple's
then-
usually late in the
but-
game, but they perfect it. though.
Exactly, and that's why they take so long is because they want to perfect it.
Oh,
you know, They
okay.
don't want to make any mistakes.
Quick question for both of you. Quick question. Every time Apple,
we go, here we
every time Apple has a keynote, how much lube do you go through?
How much what?
Lube do you go through?
I just I mean, come on, man.
No, I get enjoying a
This is
product.
what happens to the Android guys in the corner because he knows the
I mean,
product
but
is shit.
we're also talking to a guy who was trying to start the podcast with a Windows computer, and it took 45 minutes, and then you hooked it up to your Mac, and it took 5 minutes, and it just worked.
Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
you know, like even you gotta admit that.
But in his defense, I know he wants a Mac.
You know,
I would again yes, and you're not that is not an incorrect statement. As far as like for especially for what we do like video editing and stuff like that.
We all know this is not meant for
all right,
games.
so
No, exactly.
I want to touch on something real quick. So, when I used to work with Jason, all right, and I had my Apple Watch, okay, and Jason, I remember Jason asked me, he's like, "Is that worth the money?" And I was like, I told Jason, I was like, I guarantee you, if you buy one of these, you'll never look back. When I had my AirPod Pros and everything, and I had actually I sold you my originals.
Yeah, but who talked me into getting the Mac?
I did.
Yeah, and I love it.
And I talked him into. I told him, I was like, just try it. Everything you touch, like, you'll fall in love.
Yeah.
And it's just because they're amazing products. You know, they're built.
I-
Everything.
but
So,
that's
okay,
because
okay,
Android, though.
yeah, you're
Android, Samsung has good products too.
Just to counter argue your point of like once you get to once you get into Apple and everything you do fall in love. I worked for the company. Everything works. Everything Apple works seamlessly with Apple. That is one thing.
What is your boggle?
My point is that once you get far enough in, going out is just going to basically destroy whatever you're trying to do. So if you're trying to
Like, what do you mean?
But it's the
so
same-
if
it's
you
the
if you
same
put
way with-
anything into the Apple ecosystem that isn't Apple, everything can come to a grinding halt.
But it's the same way with the Android ecosystem. It's the exact same way with the Android ecosystem. Because, you know, this is my theory, is when Apple and Android came out, you had two people at first. You had one person that was like, I like the Android side better. You have the other people that were like, I like the Apple side better. They both dumped their respectable amount of money into each product. And now I think that unless, you know, majority of people are probably, and this is just my theory, is that they're probably locked into that ecosystem because they like it. That's what they're used to.
Right.
People don't like change. It's hard for people to make a change.
That's
you know?
fair. That's
I
actually
tried to jump over to a numerous Samsung phones.
I have too.
And
it just.
I didn't like it. I've always came back to
I
Apple
love how you can
because-
customize and you can do what you want and you're more open and free.
on Android.
On Android,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I know that, and that's but With
Apple,
with Apple, it's just faster, snappier, and it's more
very
dependable.
simple, very
Yeah,
simple.
I'm at the age where I want simple.
Right,
If
'cause
I
you-
want to customize shit, I'll do something on on Xbox computer.
We do need to start planning for his 50th next year.
I am not 50, asshole.
You know, when I was,
But sorry to interrupt. I'm just gonna say, like, for instance, what you're talking about. When he texts me, if I see that green,
I swear to God, if you say the fucking green bubble,
If I see
that
the
is
green
Apple's
bubble,
problem.
it just-
That is
I just
Apple's
cringe.
problem.
Like even
That
in
is
the,
Apple's.
I hate to
you
say this, like
fuck.
even in the dating world, like if you like get a girl text, you see a green bubble.
I know.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna like talk, but you kind of like this might not work.
Wow. Okay, so we're not shallow. That's
No,
fine.
I'm
I know.
joking.
I know.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. No. I do know
There's
because
one
I
thing.
do have
I hate this.
no. There are people.
Really strict
Oh
about
my
that.
fucking God. I've got some friends.
I've literally seen a girl put in her profile before. If I text you and if I see a green bubble, it's not gonna work.
That's fine.
I
If
was
I mean,
like, wow.
if they want to be miserable, that's their problem.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and probably wrap up there. But I mean, yeah, like I said, Apple is cool. It does. You helped the case a little bit for me. I'm probably still not going to shell out
But if it
$4,500.
drops the price a little bit lower, you probably
If we can come
think about
closer,
it.
if they can come closer to like 1,000, I'd probably strongly consider it.
I don't know.
I don't know about 1,000.
I think right now,
I think we're probably 10 years from that anyway. But yeah,
Yeah,
my,
agreed.
my final thoughts on this and everything is, the product is still a year away from
Beta.
the
It's in
consumer
beta.
actually touching it.
it's
Apple
5 to
has-
6. They said early 2024. So I mean, we're in July.
It's probably going to come out in March.
The thing is like when
spring.
it hits stores, Apple has a certain way of displaying devices that when people walk in, they fall in love. Like, so for example, their MacBooks, they turn their MacBooks at, I believe it's like a 90-degree angle, so that when somebody walks in, they have to turn it. And the reason why they do that,
So you touch it.
so that you touch the product.
Yeah.
And then you start messing with the product, and then you're like, wow.
All I gotta say is like you see, it just goes
the,
up so
the
slow.
one hand thing. Okay, it's neat.
My-
It's not gonna
my-
it's not gonna sell me on a computer.
My closing argument about that is that I think that once it hits the stores and people actually touch it and put it on their head and everything and actually see it, I think it's, even with the price, I think it's gonna sell like crazy.
Oh yeah, no, I think it will absolutely. I mean,
I agree.
for the record, we're probably not the people who are going to be lining up day one for pre-orders because that is a shit ton of money. I think for all of us.
Yeah.
Also, first year products have a lot of like, I love Apple products, but first year products have a lot of
but
problems.
it's,
like
but it's
most
not.
products.
Yeah.
Well, and,
that's in
you-
all
you-
products and cars and stuff.
Yeah, you and I we've talked about that because you can. The thing is, you can beta test and you can test and try out and tweak all these features. You're never going to know how it's going to work until you put it in the hands of people because people will do shit you never even
Once it's out in the wild,
expected.
things will go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
There's
think it's gonna skyrocket once once in the store. And I think it's
I
it's gonna
agree.
take off.
I agree.
agreed. So, well, all right. That is all we have. Trey, thank you for being here. We appreciate
We'll
you.
definitely have you here again.
Yeah.
for sure.
Appreciate it.
Probably the next Apple argument. I guess we have, but
Yeah.
but anyway, guys, make sure you join on all the socials and everything. We should now that we have video should
We
have
video. I know we were not looking into the camera, but we're like being more.
yeah more personable.
Yeah.
But when it goes back to me and Jay, we'll probably be focused on the camera a
Yeah.
little bit. But again, thanks for Trey. I'm Ryan.
I am Jason.
And I'm Trey.
Later, guys.
Later. Thank you.